Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the replay. Thanks for joining me tonight. I have a Slimline card planned for today using this Bloom and Grace stamp and thin cut set. So before we get started, let me get this shared over to the group. Hey, Mary. Share, share, share. Share. Awesome. Okay, so one of the featured paper collections in the September-October book is Bloom with Grace, which is a very sunflower themed paper pack, and the stamp sets for it are also very sunflower themed, which is great for me. I love the sunflowers. I love the paper collection, the colors, everything about it is very, very country for us, and that's nice to see because sometimes we don't always get paper collections that kind of speak to our region, but this one definitely does, especially that boot and those sunflowers. Very, very cute. Okay, the stamp itself is huge. It is huge. It's a good like 5 inches by 3 inches, 5 by 3. So that's a really big size, but it's great for scrapbooking, definitely. And this stamp and thin cut was designed for scrapbooking in mind, but we're gonna use it for our card today, no problem. I've got some craft paper, 8 inches by 9 inches, folded in half, so it's a 4 by 9. And then here is the Bloom with Grace bulk paper. So it's sunflowers on one side and this green pattern paper on the other side. And it's cut at 375. You know what? I think I only had like 8.5 inches tall, but that's not a problem. So I'm going to cover up this little bit that I'm missing down here. No big deal. First things first, let's stamp our big boot. And it's gonna need a little bit of ink. Oh, hello, Giada. Well, I said hello to Mary, but hello, Giada, and hello, Mom. I need my intense black. So generally I put the stamp to the pad, but this time I'm putting the pad to the stamp just because it is such a big stamp. I want to make sure I get ink all over. Okay, and so it's definitely inked up. I'm going to put my little spongy part, and I am using this toffee paper. I did want kind of a colored background, so let's get this in there and press down. Pressing as hard as I can with as much leverage as I can get, because I do want a good dark impression. Okay, awesome, very good. Okay, let's clean that off. We did pretty good. We're gonna cut it with our thin cuts as well, so no problem. Okay, that should be nice and clean now. I can put it back on my stamp pad. And before we cut it, let's go ahead and color it in. So I need, what do I need here? I need the dull green. I need the gold brown. Where's my gold brown? Gold brown. And take out my citrus as well and try and get some yellow in there. And then maybe some earth brown for the boots. I'm going to keep the boots kind of neutral. Earth brown, gold brown. Okay, let's deal with that first. So, using the medium green. Oh man, I really have to decide what's leaf here and what's sunflower. I'll just color that in. So that brown cardstock does affect the color, but it's going to give it a warm tone. So I do like that idea. So I can't tell which part is sunflower though and which part is leaf. So hopefully I don't color too much of it wrong. It'll just blend in. So the trick that I want to do today is just show you how to cut partially with the thin cuts. We're not going to cut the whole image out. We're just going to cut a portion. We definitely want to get it colored in. Make sure I'm not missing anyone. Just doing a little bit of coloring in. I guess all of that looks like it's sunflower, sunflower, sunflower. I'm just going to go back over some of it. That might be part sunflower too, but we're already committed to the green on it. Little blending, little blending. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the medium yellow and see what we get out of there. And then we can either continue brightening it up with the darker yellow or toning it down with the brown. I'm thinking the yellow might work for us. Got petals going one way and the other where they're folded in against each other. Okay, hey Christy. I'm gonna do the light tan. Let's kind of come in on some of these. So some blending. And come back over it with the light yellow. Hey, Howard and Christy and Kara and Krista. Okay. Now for our boots. I'm gonna start on the light, and then we'll build up to the dark brown. Still just keeping our boots neutral as well. You could totally, you know, color it in with some bright colors, really make them fancy. But I am a brown boot person. And this card is kind of a neutral card, or a warm colored, warm toned card, so. The stitching and the stamping really shows through, even though we're using the dark brown. You can still see some detail work in there, so that's nice. And I'll come back through and use our shimmer brush, use the almond shimmer brush to get some more shine in there. And that'll fancy us up. I have to come back with some gray to get those spurs. And get that little silver tip up at the front. What do we have here? Who else has joined us today? And Ryan and Howie. Woo! Got everybody. Ice gray. Okay. A little bit of darker gray in here. Okay, I think we got a good boot there. Okay, so not exactly going to cut this down yet, but I want to show you. If I line up my dent cut right over where everything's supposed to be, here we go, right about there. And I'm going to put a little bit of, there we go, a little bit of washi to hold it in place. When I go to cut it though, I'm only going to cut partial and at an angle. I don't want it cut out all the way down here. So what I'm going to do is when I put my plate in, just put the plate up to the part that I want it to cut, because only where there's pressure will it cut through. So obviously it's not going to go through the machine this way. So I'm going to need to turn it a little. So that means I need to cut off some of this part. Okay. And all of this part's going to be cut off, so that's okay. So I want it at an angle. I can cut it right about there. Okay? And hopefully this all fits in camera. Here's my die cut machine, my small die cut machine, not my big die cut machine, because that way you could see what I'm doing. So I've got it. Hold on, hold on. Okay, I'm trying to get it right up to the where there's going to be resistance, and then I'm going to just push it in. And did that work? Yeah, see, it cut, and only partial part of it, so that we can cut the rest off, and we'll still have this full image down here. So that was, I don't know that you actually saw that on camera, but that was the intent of the cut. And when I take it off, you can see only part of it cut through. So, now what I need to do to cut off the rest of it is I'm going to just take it did make an impression though. So I'm going to take a ruler and a blade, and I can see where that impression is, and I'm going to finish cutting it out. So I'm just going to cut from there all the way to the edge, and then from here all the way to where that impression is, so that I can cut this away. And so I'll just finish cutting right along that impression. Let's see if it'll cut away a little bit for me. Okay. There we go. On that's one side. Just right along that impression. So I must have gotten some pressure there, but not enough to make the whole cut, which that's fine. That's fine. Let me show you my practice piece. So see, the practice piece got all along until I wanted it, and then I had that part left over. So, and it measures for, so I do need to cut some of this back part off, because it needs to be at 375 to match my other paper. And there we go. You know what? I think I'm going to cut off all the way down to that leaf, just so it has a better looking cut to it. Okay, so now when I add this onto my card, I've got this part of the image still showing over the green part, and I have my little halo here that I want, so it's still part of the card. I don't know how to explain that better, but it just gives me more base down here rather than having the whole little thing cut out and then it's just like a sticker or a die cut. This is now, you know, a bigger, substantial part of the card, and it just gives it a different look. So I like that look. That's what I do want to keep about it. So there we go for that. Now for the sentiment, I wanted to say stand tall and find the sun. But obviously that sentiment is too long for the card. And it's also, whoa, too long to fit into the bracket. Right? I mean, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the bracket, and then I'm going to cut the stamp. Since it's an acrylic stamp, I can just cut it right there. And then I'll be able to layer or stack the sentiment so that this part is in one line and then this part is on a second line, and it'll fit in there. And even if I wanted to stamp them back again in a single line, all I have to do is just match it right back up, and you won't be able to tell that it was cut. It's because it's not at a place, or it's not cutting over any part of the stamp image. It's on an empty spot of the stamp. Okay, so I'm just cutting out the bracket super quick. Okay, see, there we go. And here's my sentiment. Don't be, I could stamp part of it and then come back and stamp this other part of it, but I'm not really seeing the need to keep it in that long line. Stand tall and so find the sun. I'm going to put it all on one block. So that when I stamp it, it keeps the alignment that we started with. And I'm gonna emboss it, of course. So just using my anti-static pouch. See here, inking it up with our Versamark. It's a watermark. It says watermark stamp pad, but basically it's clear ink. Stamp it down real good. Now I have gold powder that I would like to use, and we can try it, and if it doesn't come out good, then maybe we can go with black. If it doesn't come out good, we'll try it again with black, and we'll see which one we like better. But I really would like to try it with the gold. I think it'll be nice and shiny. Got a nice, good, clean stamp image. Let's put this back in. Oh, hello, Adan. Okay, let's heat it up. Oh, that's so pretty. Awesome, awesome. Okay. I'm going to add a little heart. Right there to that little side. You know what? Where'd I put it? I'm going to add even a smaller one right over here and right over there. Okay, that'll give us a little bit more, you know, filled up space, but also gives us a chance to use up some hearts. Yay, that worked out very well. Okay, and now we can start putting together the card. Super easy. The design on this card, simple. Oh, I need to add that with even spacing at the top. Oh, because I'll be able to space that other part of the card to fill in that gap. Okay. And it just filled in just a tiny bit where I was short, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. There we go. And then this goes right up here. Little foam tape action. And a little shimmer brush action. I'm going to color in this light brown area. And this is the Toffee shimmer brush. So it's got a brown tone to it. And I'm just trying to paint inside the design. Give it a little shimmer. And then with the clear, do the inside of those flowers. That's right in the black section, which I probably could have done with a black shimmer brush too. That would help to give it some, that would have made it too dark though. I'm okay with the ink saturation. Okay. Maybe some random leaves Oof. Let's not forget our spurs. Okay. There we go. I think that will definitely. Hello, Chris Guerra. There you go. You've got some dimension with our foam tape on our sentiment. And of course, you can feel that embossed sentiment with the gold embossing. There's a lot of shimmer going on. Looks really good in person. Really good. There we go. Super simple. Super simple. That, I mean, we didn't really do much of a trick with that thin cut. Just cutting it part of the way instead of the full way so that we could have a little bit of background down here. But there you go. Thanks you guys for joining me tonight. I do have a football game tomorrow, so I'll probably be coming live a little early, probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that, somewhere around there, so that I can be done in time to head out to the game. And there you go. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.